You've probably been there, pouring your heart out, explaining every detail of what you're going through, hoping someone will fully understand. But here's the truth. Most people are already overwhelmed with their own lives. They're juggling their own problems, fears, and dreams. It's not that they're cruel or heartless, it's that their emotional bandwidth is limited. When you constantly hand your struggles to the world, you give away your power and your focus. Complaining won't build the life you want. Action will. Quiet strength will. The more you keep your energy guarded and channel it towards solutions, the more unstoppable you become. People won't remember every hardship you shared. They'll remember the results you produced. So stop scattering your struggles in places they don't belong. Hold them close, work on them relentlessly, and let your transformation do the talking. Most people live in a constant whirlwind of their own responsibilities, challenges, and emotional battles, and because of that, they have a limited capacity to fully invest in someone else's struggles. When you expect people to stop everything and focus deeply on your pain, you unintentionally set yourself up for disappointment. It's not that people are uncaring or unkind. Many of them might even wish they could be more supportive, but their own lives demand their attention first. Everyone is balancing work pressures, financial worries, health issues, family dynamics, and personal insecurities that are invisible to the outside world. This reality means that while people might listen or offer a few words of encouragement, they are unlikely to carry your burdens for you or provide the level of emotional investment you're hoping for. Understanding this isn't about becoming cynical or distrustful. It's about adjusting your expectations so you don't deplete yourself emotionally. When you share every detail of your struggle expecting validation or deep empathy, you may find that the response feels shallow or fleeting. That reaction can leave you feeling even more isolated or misunderstood. But the truth is that it has less to do with their care for you and more to do with their own emotional bandwidth. Accepting that most people are preoccupied with their own battles frees you from the constant need for external approval or comfort. It empowers you to turn inward for strength and to be selective about who you trust with your vulnerabilities. Rather than scattering your pain across many people who can't give it the attention you desire, you begin to conserve your energy and focus on actions that move you forward. This understanding doesn't diminish the importance of human connection or support systems. Instead, it highlights the value of seeking out those rare relationships where mutual support is genuine and sustainable. It also encourages you to build resilience by taking ownership of your path, rather than depending on others to carry you through. In a world where everyone is fighting their own unseen battles, recognizing this truth allows you to manage your expectations, avoid unnecessary hurt, and reclaim the emotional energy you might otherwise waste. By realizing that most people's limited capacity for your struggles is not a reflection of your worth, but simply a reflection of life's demands, you place the responsibility for your growth and healing where it belongs, within yourself. Oversharing your problems can quietly drain your emotional energy and shift your focus away from the solutions you need to pursue. When you repeatedly talk about your struggles to anyone who will listen, you unintentionally reinforce the weight of those challenges in your mind. Every retelling keeps the problem alive, giving it more space in your thoughts and emotions instead of clearing room for clarity and action. While sharing might feel like a release in the moment, doing it excessively often prolongs the emotional toll and prevents you from moving forward effectively. It can also create a cycle where your identity begins to revolve around your hardships rather than your resilience or resourcefulness. The more you narrate your pain, the more it becomes the lens through which you see yourself, and this perception can limit your potential. When energy is spent on recounting the problem over and over, there is less left for brainstorming, experimenting with solutions, or taking meaningful steps toward change. People who constantly vent often find themselves stuck in the same place months or even years later because their focus stayed on expressing frustration instead of channeling that frustration into action. Another hidden cost of oversharing is that it can dilute the seriousness of your message. If you discuss your struggles with everyone, the words may lose their impact, and the support you're hoping for might not come because people have grown accustomed to hearing the same complaints without seeing any effort to improve the situation. This can inadvertently erode the empathy you might have received had you shared selectively and purposefully. Protecting your energy by choosing when and with whom to share your difficulties allows you to maintain control over your narrative and preserve the mental bandwidth needed for progress. It also sends a subtle signal to yourself that your challenges do not define you. They are temporary obstacles, not permanent labels. Focusing on solutions rather than constant storytelling shifts your mindset from passive frustration to active problem solving. It's about redirecting that emotional energy toward building strategies, seeking opportunities, or developing skills that will help you overcome the issue. By being intentional about when you speak about your struggles and when you hold them close, you reclaim your power and avoid giving the problem more influence over your life than it deserves. The shift from oversharing to purposeful action strengthens your resilience and positions you to create meaningful change rather than staying trapped in the cycle of venting without progress. True strength is not displayed in the volume of your complaints or in how often you share your hardships, but in the quiet perseverance and decisive action you take when no one is watching. Constant venting may feel like a form of relief, but it rarely leads to progress, and it can sometimes make you more dependent on outside validation instead of building the inner fortitude that real growth requires. When you choose to face challenges silently and work through them with determination, you build a resilience that cannot be shaken by temporary setbacks or the opinions of others. Quiet perseverance forces you to confront your own fears, doubts, and weaknesses without the comfort of constant reassurance, and that process strengthens your character in a way that outward expressions of struggle never could. Decisive action plays an equally important role because it shifts your energy from dwelling on the problem to actively creating change. Taking even small, consistent steps forward rewires your mindset from one of helplessness to one of empowerment. It shows you that movement, however incremental, is far more powerful than endless discussion. People who lean on perseverance and action rather than words often surprise themselves and others with the results they achieve because they have spent less time justifying their circumstances and more time improving them. This approach also builds a quiet confidence that does not depend on praise or recognition. You begin to trust yourself to handle adversity, and that self-trust becomes an unshakable foundation for future challenges. Others may not even be aware of the battles you've fought, but they will notice the strength and stability you project because of the work you've done in silence. This doesn't mean you should never seek help or express your feelings when necessary, but it does mean that constant venting is not the same as healing or progress. Quiet perseverance teaches patience, discipline, and self-reliance, while decisive action ensures that your energy is always moving toward a solution rather than circling the problem. The combination of these qualities creates a powerful momentum that transforms obstacles into opportunities for growth. Over time, you will discover that the most meaningful victories are often the ones achieved without applause or recognition. They are the moments when you chose to endure, adapt, and act despite doubt or discomfort, and those private triumphs become the unseen backbone of your strength. Protecting your energy and choosing the right confidence is one of the most empowering steps you can take toward personal growth and resilience. Not everyone you encounter has the capacity or the intentions to handle your vulnerabilities with care, and sharing deeply with the wrong people can leave you feeling exposed or even betrayed. When you become intentional about who you open up to, you safeguard your emotional well-being and create an environment that nurtures rather than drains you. Energy is finite, and every time you invite someone into your private struggles, you are giving them a piece of that energy. If that person responds with judgment, gossip, or indifference, you not only lose valuable emotional strength, but also risk undermining your confidence. By contrast, choosing confidants who are trustworthy, empathetic, and supportive ensures that your struggles are met with understanding and encouragement instead of dismissal or negativity. Protecting your energy also means setting boundaries with people who are quick to criticize or who use your openness against you. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out, but safeguards that preserve your focus and peace of mind. They allow you to invest your energy in places and relationships that contribute to your growth, rather than in situations that sap your strength. Being selective about where you share your challenges also helps you maintain control over your own narrative. When you disclose your struggles only to those who will honor your trust, you are less likely to have your words twisted or misunderstood. This careful approach reinforces your sense of agency and reminds you that your story belongs to you, not to anyone else's interpretation or judgment. Furthermore, protecting your energy creates space for self-reflection and problem solving. Instead of scattering your emotions across countless conversations, you can channel that energy inward, gaining clarity and perspective on your next steps. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or refusing support. It means being wise about where you turn for it. Over time, this practice strengthens your resilience because you learn to draw on your own inner resources while building a small but meaningful circle of genuine support. You begin to recognize that not every person in your life needs to know every detail of your journey, and that discretion can be a powerful form of self-care. By guarding your energy and choosing confidence wisely, you empower yourself to grow stronger, remain focused, and move through life with greater confidence and stability. Your results and transformation will always speak louder than your complaints, and this truth holds incredible power when you face challenges. Words can only carry so much weight, and over time, people tend to tune out repeated grievances or explanations. What captures attention and earns respect is not how eloquently you describe your struggle, but how effectively you rise above it. When you channel your energy into taking action instead of broadcasting your pain, you begin to build a track record of progress that is impossible to ignore. Achievements, even small ones, are far more persuasive than words because they show rather than tell. A person who quietly works on improving their situation without fanfare often surprises those around them with the magnitude of their growth. This approach transforms your hardships into a powerful story of resilience without needing to dramatize or defend your struggle. Progress, however gradual, creates undeniable evidence that you are capable, determined, and resourceful. People are naturally drawn to results. They respect visible effort, discipline, and commitment far more than they respond to repeated complaints. When you invest in actions that move you forward, you create a ripple effect that can inspire others without even trying. Your transformation becomes a silent mentor, teaching through example that perseverance and focus can overcome adversity. Complaining, on the other hand, tends to sap motivation, both yours and the listeners, leaving everyone stuck in the same narrative without momentum. By focusing on results, you reinforce your own belief in your ability to shape your circumstances. Each milestone, no matter how small, is a tangible reminder that change is possible and within your control. Over time, this practice rewires your mindset. Instead of seeking external validation or sympathy, you start valuing progress and self-respect. People may forget the details of your struggles or the words you spoke about them, but they will remember the transformation they witnessed. They will remember how you carried yourself with determination, even when the odds were against you, and how you let your actions define you instead of your complaints. This shift not only changes how others perceive you, but also changes how you perceive yourself. You move from a place of helplessness to empowerment, from storytelling to story living, and from seeking attention to earning admiration. When your results speak for you, they leave an imprint that words alone could never achieve. And that imprint becomes your most compelling testimony of strength and perseverance.